Hey guys, how's it going? Today I want to speak about the subject of, is human knowledge the result of learning, experience, or evolution? The thing is that it's honestly a bit of both, because, well, we've had many generations in the history of the world in order for us to arrive to 2019 or 2020, but we're basically now in 2019. So the thing is that through basically generations and generations of people, there has been a learning that has happened, and through that learning we've acquired knowledge, and through knowledge we've evolved in a certain way. Obviously, when people were in the dark ages, or even much earlier in prehistoric times, well, it was dinosaurs. But after that, basically about maybe 65,000 years ago, the first types of human beings started arising. And obviously they weren't really like us. They were more like Neanderthals, and then, the Homo sapiens sapiens and all that. And we didn't live in houses or in cities and stuff like that. But one thing that did evolve was that basically, since we didn't have a lot of hair and stuff like that, well, we had to cover ourselves. And also, because we didn't have big teeth and fangs and stuff like that, we needed to find a way to survive with all these treacherous animals. So one thing that happened was communities started to arise. So we became basically community-based, where we needed to have big communities living with us. So through that learning, and basically the fact that we didn't want to die, we learned that we needed to figure out a way to evolve and to learn from our ancestors. And I think that a lot of the knowledge is not really evolutionary, but at the same time it kind of is, because evolution of the mammal that predates us, be it a monkey or a chimpanzee or whatever it is, they had a different type of lifestyle. Just the fact that they had fur, and that maybe they didn't have such a big prefrontal cortex, so they didn't have as much intelligence as us. But through the fact that we don't have the fangs, that we don't have the hair and things like that, well, we've evolved in a certain way. So learning, evolution, experience, all these things just basically literally are all correlated. They're all intertwined, and they're all working in conjunction to make us the human beings that we are. So just saying that one thing is more than the other is kind of hard to even picture, because they just go literally hand in hand. And at the same time, if we didn't have any evolution or learning or experience that was learned, then we would not be the society that we are. But definitely the fact that males are in certain positions and females are in other positions often has come from the fact that women can have, or the ones that get pregnant with children, they also have less muscle mass originally. So that's why our society has evolved in that way, where males were the hunters and females were the gatherers, because the males were more muscular, and then the females just had less of that muscle, so they were the nurturers. And that has created some sort of discrepancy sometimes in our society, now that we're not hunting in the same way anymore, where basically we've evolved in a certain way. Now what happens is that the experience and the learning of past generations is changing our evolution, because we've evolved in such a way that we have so much reliance on technology and computers and so many things, that now the power that was more from one gender to the other it's starting to become a little bit more even. There's always going to be a few differences just because that's how it is. Humanity always sees the small little details, but thanks to technology, cars, houses, the fact that everything is computerized nowadays, and less labor intensive in some way, has made it in such a way that now both sexes are much more equal in that respect, strength-wise at least. But at the same time, thinking about it again from an evolutionary perspective, basically mankind cannot live without the other. So man cannot live without woman, woman cannot live without man. So I think that's also very interesting, because we always try to separate people or categorize people, be it by race, by sex, by culture and stuff like that. But when we really look at it, it's kind of like how they're saying that there's a problem with the bees. If the bees go extinct, well, then who's going to pollinate all these seeds and all these things? So basically all the agriculture will die. And if that happens, well, then we have a catastrophe with the world. We're basically screwed. So it kind of goes the same way. That's why whenever an animal gets extinct, it's actually sometimes bad, sometimes less, sometimes more. Obviously 99.9% of species have been extinct through history, but at the same time, we got to understand that there are some species that are a little bit more important to the ecosystem of the world, such as bees. And if they go extinct, then we're screwed. And sadly, if mankind goes extinct, well, the reverse would actually happen. It would be the world and nature that basically would expand, and quintuple, tentuple would become so much better. So sometimes we are the bad people. But going back to the subject, yes, evolution, learning, and all these things are all intertwined, and knowledge is just achieved through all of these. That's it. That's all I have to say on the subject. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.